What is up? If you guys haven't heard this podcast before, what I do is I talk about Austin stand-up comedians, what I like about them, first impressions, any kind of personal crushes I have on these comedians, in hopes to just inject some positivity back into the scene while we're all stuck inside our respective homes, apartments. Come on, we're all comedians. None of us are living in houses, unless we're living with somebody. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I think that a lot of people take for granted the job of a host. But hosting is tough. And these comedians are not only stand-up comedians, but they're also good hosts. So I wanted to lend, and mostly how I know them is through their hosting capabilities. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about Leon Liu. I'd like to talk about Tucei, and I'd like to talk about Zach Busby. So let's get into it. What are we waiting for? We're not waiting for anything. Maybe for the AC to shut off, so when Mark edits this, he's not going to have to do as much work. But you know what? Sorry, Mark. It's hot. It's another hot day in Texas. You know what I mean? Leon hosts the Halcyon open mic, and he also hosts the Baker Street, the show that he does at Baker Street on Monday nights. I forget exactly what it's called, but I've seen many of people perform there. It's a cool place. They say it gets cooler. Cooler. Damn it! I messed up a Smash Mouth quote. But yeah, so he hosts. I know him through him hosting the Halcyon open mic. He's got a really funny joke about hair product. I'll leave it at that. When you see it, you'll know it. Leon, what I respect about Leon is, so there's a whole big debate going on. Not going on now. Not about comedy. But there was a debate about, hosts reordering lists. People saying, if you show up, when you sign up, I should be able to go first if I'm the first person here. Okay, I see that. Excuse me. But also, there is merit in some hosts that reorder lists, which is something Leon does. And I'll be perfectly honest, when I started going to the mic, I wasn't upset, but I was a little perturbed when I got put at the bottom of the list. But it just means you need to get better. Chris Rock talked about that and said, you know what, they would put him on at 2 and 3 in the morning. Sometimes he would never get on. He used to have to sweep comedy clubs. I'm not upset about that. And when I heard Leon kind of breaking it down to me and I think Sean maybe, was he orders the list in a way where it's dark comic, lighter comic, dark comic, lighter comic, to where it's not all just somebody going up and talking about AIDS for 4 minutes and the next person following up with a cancer bit for 4 minutes. He balances it out, and he adds a real method to it. So I appreciate that. Of these people that come out to shows, there's a level of respect with they come out to go check out the show. They deserve to see at least a good order of folks going up, and a nice little balance, Plus, when you're when someone serves you a good meal, you don't want all salt, right? You want the right amount of salt, right? But you also want the right amount of paprika, huh? Am I making any sense? I've been in this apartment for months now. Shout out to Leon. Hope you're doing well, man. Let's talk about Tucei. Tucei? I don't want to say Tucci. I think it's Tucci, actually, because her Instagram name is Tucei in the Sky with Diamonds, and every time I read it, I think, in my head, am like, Tucei in the Sky with Diamonds. Can you guys believe I was a singer for 15 years? Can't believe I failed at that. Let's talk about Megan. Megan's super nice. Megan was there. I don't know if she'll remember, but I have an episode that I want to talk about. It's going to be a 5th episode. It's going to be a special episode about a gentleman named Gabe. He's a young guy who came in. I only saw him perform there, never saw him again. It was one of the most incredible experiences because he was just such a character. I remember, like, when he got in, he went into the room and he had a bag of Skittles. This was at Fallout. And he didn't sign up beforehand. And he went up and was like, hey, can I perform? And she was like, yeah, if you want. And he was like, oh, okay, there's no, like, age limit or anything. And she was like, oh, how old are you? And he was like, I know, right? And then just turned around and left. So that was the first piece of that story. I can't wait to tell the rest of it because it's like one of my favorite stories of doing stand-up in Austin. But anyhow, Megan has always been super nice. She's really good at hosting the Fallout one. It's very tight. People come in, they come out. She gets people on stage, gets them off. Gets them off stage. I will say, unfortunately, I haven't seen many of her actual sets, though. Because usually when she opens up at Fallout, I'm in the back, doing all kinds of drugs and whatnot. No, I'm not. I'm just in the back and I don't really hear her. And I can't recall ever seeing her perform anywhere. I know she does perform a lot of places. And, but I just never really catch it. But, so I wanted to kind of shout her out. Seems like a good person. Let's talk about, hope you're doing well, Megan. Let's talk about Zach Busby. So Zach, what are we at? Oh, just 8 minutes? Okay, it's not too bad. So I don't know Zach. I don't think I've ever met Zach, but I've seen Zach perform, and then I saw him host. But I saw him host the last night that they did. God dang it, I should have looked up the name of this place. It's South. It's the coffee shop that he always hosts. They used to have it in the back room, and it was like a warehouse room. And I went there on the last night that they did it. I might have been with Sean or AJ. I can't remember. But they did the set. Everybody was doing really well. Dave J went up. What's the other guy? Jim Tucei. I remember seeing him go up. This one guy went up and bombed. He was the last dude, I think, or one of the last dudes. But he bombed in a funny way where everybody was laughing and he understood what was happening, I think. Okay, I had to stop and restart because I was describing Zach's joke, but if I would have left it on there, I would have taken away all the surprise of the joke. But he talked about a joke about being a kid and going door to door and taking money from people. I don't think that's giving away too much. But the bit, that's honestly one of the top 5 bits I've heard from an Austin comic. It just, the way he built it and the way he told it was so good. And the closing part of it. But then after he gave this really heartfelt kind of speech-esque thing, maybe just a couple lines about how much he enjoyed hosting that mic and how much he was appreciated to the people that come there. It was just really sweet. And then they took a big picture. I didn't get in the picture because I didn't feel like I belonged in the picture. But yeah, and then I've seen him a couple other times at like Velveeta Room, I think. He's a good comic. I can't speak to his character because I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, he's a good host too. So he kind of keeps the energy up. He's got that bite in between for each person. So that's good to hear. I think I described Leo Mulroney in that same way. Just that right amount of venom, and James Carrigan. But anyhow, I think those are the 3 hosts that or stand-up comics that I would like to talk about who also host. If you're a stand-up comic, there's a good chance I'm going to talk about you at some point. If I haven't, or if I don't, then, what are you doing? Why haven't you made an impression on me? But yeah, so everybody stay safe. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Stand-up comedy will be back. Have a great day.